happen to a desert if you brought 1 billion beavers head?
Welcome to the latest issue of Top Secret. Could this tiny creature, rumored to be so beneficial, really change the harsh face of the arid desert?
Just one small beaver can spark an unimaginable biological revolution. A fantastical scenario the scientific community never dared to.
Do you dare to explore this strange and fascinating mystery? Let Top Secret lift the curtain right now.
The miraculous revival of DC Creek.
The small DC Creek near Elko, Nevada, was once a desolate area with nothing but barren, rocky land where trees couldn't grow along the stream banks.
But then, a miracle happened that completely transformed the landscape here, thanks to the arrival of beavers, the genius architects behind this lush landscape in the heart of the desert. Without beavers, this place would forever remain a shallow, dry stream, barely recognizable. Thanks to them, after 30 years, DC Creek has turned into a vibrant oasis in the arid desert. This dramatic change is clearly shown in before and after photos.
That's worth noting, The secret behind this revival is the tireless work of the beavers. Originally, the drying up of DC Creek was due to uncontrolled livestock grazing by European settlers hundreds of years ago. Herds of cattle ate all the vegetation along the stream banks, leaving no source to retain water. The result was a dried-up stream, leaving an area with only a name. By the late 1980s, biologists urged local residents to change their grazing practices. Thanks to that, willow trees began to grow back, water flowed more, and then the first beavers arrived, beginning their miraculous restoration journey. Beavers achieved the impossible thanks to their skillful dam building. When dams are created, water is not only directed downstream but also retained, forming large ponds. This helps raise the groundwater level, allows vegetation to thrive, and from there, an entire new ecosystem begins to form. From a dry land, the desert turns into a cool, green paradise, a habitat for countless animal species. The beavers' work is not simply a water dam. First, they lay a foundation with rocks, then skillfully weave branches and logs they collect with their sharp teeth.
They gnaw tree bark to get a sweet inner layer for food and simultaneously use it as building material.
Over time, mud and aquatic plants even reinforce the dam, making it incredibly sturdy.
Thanks to these structures, beavers have significantly improved the quality of wetlands and streams, bringing new life to nature. It is thanks to these natural engineers that areas once devastated by pollution and overgrazing have now been revived, becoming vivid proof of nature's regenerative power when properly protected and supported.
Beavers, nature's talented architects. Beavers, though just a small animal species, can have a profound impact on an entire ecosystem.
This story may sound unbelievable, but it is a completely miraculous truth that nature has demonstrated. In 2005, scientists discovered a fossilized beaver dam, estimated to be about 125,000 years old. What's special here is that this dam not only fossilized but also did not completely collapse,
creating vivid evidence of the beaver's incredible building ability,
even leaving a valuable legacy for the surrounding environment.
When a beaver builds a dam, it's not simply creating a small structure in nature but a profound change to the ecosystem. The beaver dam creates a pond where plants thrive, creating an ideal habitat for a host of animals. Fish, insects, and birds quickly find these areas to take shelter. However, like any animal, beavers can also get bored with their home.
Especially when their food source, the good trees, begins to run out. At this point, beavers will leave, abandoning the old dam with no one to care for it. And then, the dam begins to collapse. Water drains away but also carries a large amount of mud, branches, and dry leaves. Materials vary. The miracle is that when the beaver dam breaks, this area does not become a dead land but instead begins a new cycle. Herbivores start moving in, and this area gradually becomes lush grassland. Willow and aspen trees, species beavers favor, gradually grow back, restoring the ecosystem. When the trees grow back, beavers will return and continue building new dams, and this cycle continues. This is a wonderful example of the long-term and meaningful impact of beavers on the recovery and maintenance of life in nature.
Beavers and their crucial role in the ecosystem.
Not simply changing the landscape, the presence of beavers also brings enormous benefits to the entire ecosystem and the lives of animal species. A prime example is releasing beavers into arid areas of Utah, where the main goal is to improve the quality and quantity of water in the desert environment. These are arid lands where water is a precious and scarce resource, and beavers are the key to improving this situation. Native animal species, especially endangered ones, desperately need water sources to survive. Beavers building dams helps increase the water volume in the area, creating ponds, enhancing the survival chances of fish, insects, plants, birds, and mammals living near streams.
These dams help maintain a stable and rich ecosystem. Animals find shelter, food, and water in areas that previously might have been a dry, barren land with nothing living.
Moreover, beaver dams also have the effect of regulating water during the rainy and dry season. During heavy rain, the dam retains some excess water, helping to reduce floodway height. This not only helps minimize flood damage but also protects surrounding lands from being submerged. Furthermore, beaver dams help regulate water flow, allowing water to slowly seep into the ground, helping to maintain stable water. This is very important in maintaining the habitats of various animal and plant species. In addition to regulating flow, beaver dams also help retain nutrients and pollutants in the water. Water in beaver ponds is not only abundant but also cleaner than when it flowed in. These dams act as natural filters, retaining nutrients beneficial for plants, while removing harmful substances, making downstream water cleaner. This is a natural process through which beavers help restore balance in the ecosystem. Notably, beavers also help reduce the increase of harmful substances like nitrates in water. Nitrates are often present in fertilizers that farmers use to promote crop growth.
However, when these substances flow into streams,
they can cause excessive algae growth, depleting oxygen in the water and harming the entire ecosystem. Beavers, by creating dams, help improve water quality by enhancing the interaction between water, soil, and plants, thereby helping to reduce nitrate concentrations. The study has shown that this process can reduce nitrate levels in water by up to 45%, bringing great benefits to both the environment and the organisms living in it. Beavers are not only great ecological engineers but also protectors of the natural ecosystem, keeping the land lush, water sources clean, and enabling animal species to survive in harsh environments.
The changes brought by beavers are not just immediate,
but a long-term improvement, hoping to sustain life and the sustainable development of the entire ecosystem. The environmental hero in the midst of wildfires. When it comes to beavers, people often think of small, cute animals, but few know that they play an extremely important role in protecting the ecosystem, especially during natural disasters like wildfires.
Although fire can devastate everything on the ground, areas around beaver dams are often saved. Why is that? The simple answer: water doesn't burn. Beaver dams create wet areas, making them ideal refuges for animals like fish, frogs, birds, and small mammals throughout the fire season.
While surrounding areas may be burned, areas around beaver dams are often less affected,
forming a safe shelter for animals to take refuge while waiting for the fire to pass. Additionally, beaver lodges, whether active or abandoned, provide housing for many animal species. Waterfowl can nest here, and fallen trees and scattered wood create habitats for other animals. Even arid, water-scarce areas become lush thanks to beavers, creating shelters for many wildlife species and even livestock.
In areas with beaver dams, fish thrive because the water here maintains good quality and is not polluted.
Although beavers don't eat fish, they create a perfect habitat for fish species and help maintain stable water temperature, ensuring life for aquatic organisms.
Research has shown that beaver dams also help support frog and toad populations, creating protected areas for larvae to develop in warm, oxygen-rich water.
The crucial role in ecosystem restoration.
Beavers not only play an important role in maintaining the natural ecosystem, but they also contribute to creating incredibly rich biodiversity. Beaver dams are not only animal bones but also invaluable natural structures that help regulate water flow, improve water quality, and create habitats for many different species. Beaver dams are ideal places for migratory birds and resident birds in the area,
because they provide food and shelter for birds, while offering safety from predation by other animals. Notably, studies have shown that beaver dams can increase biodiversity in an area,
with species ranging from small to large, including mammals, amphibians, waterfowl, insects, and plants.
These animals find shelter and food sources in these areas thanks to the changes beavers create in the habitat.
This means beavers not only help sustain life for surrounding organisms but also create a stable and diverse environment for the entire ecosystem.
Although beavers bring many benefits to nature, They once faced the risk of extinction due to overhunting for their fur in previous centuries.
However, thanks to conservation and research efforts, beaver numbers are gradually recovering, although they still haven't returned to the previous figure of 100 million individuals. Currently, there are only about 10 million beavers globally. Some areas, especially in the western United States, are conducting projects to reintroduce beavers into arid regions like Utah and Nevada to help improve dry land conditions.
These plans also include relocating beavers to water-scarce areas like Northern California, where the demand for them is increasing.
In fact, these efforts also help protect beavers from being hunted, safeguarding them from the risk of extinction in the future. The relocation of beavers to necessary areas. In recent years, relocating beavers from places where they cause trouble to areas where their dam building abilities can benefit the environment has been implemented in many U.S. states. For example, in Washington state, forestry officials have used beavers to improve water sources for salmon species. In Colorado, beavers causing nuisance in residential areas have been moved to lands where their environmental contributions become much more beneficial. These initiatives not only help protect animals but also create positive changes in natural ecosystems. Notably, in the 1940s, the Idaho Department of Fish and Game initiated a rather special campaign using airplanes to drop beavers into wilderness areas.
If you looked up at the sky in Idaho at that time, you might have witnessed the interesting sight of crates containing beavers being parachuted down from planes.
This idea originated from a department employee who noticed the tense relationship between humans and beavers. The method of relocating beavers by plane and parachute not only saved costs but also allowed more beavers to be moved compared to previous methods. After some trials, they parachuted 76 beavers, and only one did not survive because it jumped out of the crate when falling from a height of 22 meters. However, after the successful test, using parachutes to relocate beavers became a cost-effective method, costing only about $400,000 per beaver.
Challenges when relocating beavers to arid areas.
One of the biggest challenges when relocating beavers to arid areas like the Nevada desert is the harsh climatic conditions. Summer temperatures in Nevada can exceed 37 degrees Celsius for many weeks or even months.
This makes relocating beavers difficult because they usually only come out at night and live mainly in burrows to avoid the heat. In 2019 and 2020, 47 beavers were brought to Nevada as part of a resettlement initiative, joining 9 beavers already present here. However, not all beavers could adapt to the hot conditions here. Some experienced stress from the journey, and 4 fell prey to predators such as cougars, bears, and coyotes. Additionally, some beavers also decided to leave the resettlement area and seek other places where they could live more comfortably, without having to work hard to build dams. Although it may sound quite harsh, relocating beavers to such areas has reasonable justifications. First, beavers are relocated to places where they once lived, not to desolate desert areas. Second, they have no other choice but to move here or be destroyed. This is a method to protect this species from extinction while improving arid land conditions, as seen in Arizona. In fact, these efforts are receiving support from many states because beavers can help prevent soil erosion, enrich ecosystems, and restore depleted water sources. Humans building dams for beavers, a smart but ironic solution. Humans, with their intelligence and creativity, do not always have to rely on nature to solve every problem. We can build dams ourselves if needed, but to build a dam, the cost could reach about $1 billion, enough to build an entire house. Therefore, scientists decided to create dams themselves without hiring contractors. They experimented with different sizes and functions, and interestingly, wherever they built a dam, beavers appeared and continued to perfect the structure. It seems the beavers realized humans needed help. Interestingly, inside a beaver dam is not where they live, but a necessary condition for creating a new home. The dam slows water flow, forming ponds where beavers can build lodges. These lodges are not only homes but also safe shelters from predators and harsh weather. Beavers can enter the lodge from both land and water, and they always have a back exit in case predators are lurking. Inside the lodge, there is an area for beavers to eat and dry off, while the sleeping area is elevated and lined with branches and walls made of mud as hard as cement, and an insulating layer of snow outside help keep the lodge warm. This warm lodge is not only convenient for beavers but also for other animals like North American river otters, which use abandoned beaver lodges to give birth or avoid bad weather.
Interestingly, river otters and beavers can coexist in these lodges without many issues.
Problems caused by beavers and solutions.
Although beavers are beneficial to the environment and adorable, they also cause considerable nuisance. When beavers build dams in unsuitable places, they can create chaos and damage property.
Their dams can block drains, flood roads, and disrupt irrigation systems, leading to flooding in fields and infrastructure.
This makes beavers a nightmare for many farmers, to the extent that there is a YouTube community dedicated to filming beavers damaging their structures.
And truly,
farmers have reason to be angry because beavers cause many problems in areas like Rocky Mountain National Park.
People here constantly complain about beavers and consider them troublesome rodents.
Even if beaver dams are destroyed, the problem cannot be completely solved because they will continue to rebuild them.
Besides flooding meadows, beavers also affect livestock activities.
Many farms have had to be abandoned due to beaver dams, and over the past 15 years, those who remain have had to reduce their livestock herds. The pasture lands that were once used for grazing have become flooded and are no longer suitable for livestock. Beavers are also considered a primary cause of flooding in rivers and erosion of railways and highways. Moving livestock across beaver-created ponds is a significant challenge. This forces farmers to spend considerable money to exterminate beavers and destroy their dams, and the problem remains unresolved. In response, some creative solutions have been devised, such as using pipes through beaver dams to control water levels, preventing road and trail flooding while preserving the ecosystem that beavers have created. This solution not only helps reduce damage but also protects the beaver's habitat. In fact, in many places, beavers are still regarded as important animals that help maintain ecological balance, even though they can be troublesome in unsuitable areas. What do you think about this adorable and beneficial species? If you want to see more interesting content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Beyond the Veil 0707 channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.